This is not a drill, everyone. After over 12 months of waiting, we finally have trains back on the M4J network. Let's go! Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to the new M4J, or the current M4J network, here on openttd. Welcome to Plenborough Torina, and welcome to the reintroduction of trains. We're finally going to get trains running on the network again. I can promise you, by the end of this episode, we're going to have not one, not two, but hopefully three different services running on the network. So I'm over here at Plenborough, as I just said. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of rebuilding to get things started, because I'm not 100% happy with how this station looks. The slow speed trains here, I think this needs some rebuilding as well, to be perfectly honest, and I've got some plans for that. It just involves redoing this junction here to actually bring these tracks into this junction, rather than this weird menagerie of whatever the hell all this is, to try and get things working a little bit better. So bear with me just 1 second. There we go. Thought my mouse was a bit slow. The bit I don't like is this bit, the high-speed approach. And I think the title might have given away actually what we're doing today. But I don't like the high-speed approach here to Plenborough. It's very messy. It's very stupid. At the time that I built it, I think there were only like 3 platforms here on the normal high-speed and then 2 railjet. But because this is going to be the railjet hub once that finally gets up and running, no idea when that's going to be, I decided that it needed more platforms. So I built, what have we got? 8, I think, high-speed platforms and 4 railjets, which I guess is fine. Plenborough is kind of a hub for the high-speed as well as for other services. To be honest, the platforms here might even be getting rejigged slightly as well. The station might be extending out this way a little bit more, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, the priority is getting the high speed done. So we're going to go into a time lapse in a second where I'm going to rebuild the high speed, and then we're going to stop for a little bit. Because what I have to do, there's going to be a lot of time travel in this episode. I'm going to rebuild all of this. I'm then going to stop. I'm going to hand the file over to Mastertrams, who's going to create the SRTs for me. From that, we're going to get some new timings, and then from that, we can build a timetable that is then going to be brought back to me, who's then going to start running services. So you guys won't see all that. It'll be a seamless transition. One of the new M4J transitions that I tried out in my what's coming this year video. But for me, it's probably going to take 2-3 weeks to record this video. But I'm happy about that, to be honest. I can't wait to get cracking and actually get this up and running and done, to be honest. Okay, so the first thing then is we're going to increase the approach lines to the station here. There's 2 currently. They are unidirectional. By the end of this, I think we're going to have 6, and they're going to be bidirectional, with the exception of the one that's always the exit only one. Then we're going to decrease that down to 4, and then to 2, and then to, well, at that point, it's basically done. So I'm just looking to see where would be a good place to build like crossovers and things. Basically, where am I? Here. I'm going to use the standard electrified rail for this. 125 miles per hour should be more than enough for what we're trying to achieve here. I'm also going to downgrade all of this track here as well, because we really don't need it to be that fast. So I'm just counting. Yeah, there would be the end of the first block, because I believe these are 20, although I could reduce it to 15. Yeah, that's 13 maximum there. So I could reduce this to 15. Which would put a signal smack bang there. So I'm just going to mark that down there. And then we're going to build another track, probably this side as well. And I think we're actually going to do it like this. I think this is going to be the shape that we're going for here. I think. Mainly because we fan out more to the east here than we do the west. So we only come out 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks here. Whereas we come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So actually, yeah, that kind of makes it more symmetrical looking, which I'm happy about. We're also going to redo this throat here as well, because it looks really stupid. But yeah, let's go into the first time lapse then, because I've waffled on now for a couple of minutes on what's happening here. And this is just the first part of a multi-part episode. So let's get started on this, and then once this is done, I'll do a little bit of talking at the end, and then we'll cut to a couple of weeks later where hopefully the SRTs are ready. Let's go. Alright, here we go then. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 tracks here that go down to 6, which is still quite a lot of drop down, but we could potentially make up for that still. Also just realised that you can't actually get to that far track from over here, so let me just fix that quickly. This is why we do these builds, so we can find mistakes and such like. What do I want to do? Basically, I want this one to extend over a little bit more, even though technically I don't actually want it to do that at all. What I might do then is just do this, because there's no point having a train from here snake all the way across unless there's some kind of flyover or something, which I don't particularly want to do here, but you'll notice I did do it further up. I'm also tempted to do that just to help out with trains arriving and leaving as well. I tried to plan out these junctions now so that multiple trains can arrive and leave, and not just every tile is a crossover, you know? So if you're leaving from this platform here, in theory you come across like this and then you go through that signal, whereas a train coming through this signal can still access these two platforms via this new section here. So yeah, operational flexibility I think is the term they like to use. Now of course we've got our rudimentary one-way signal there and there, which I'm tempted to build or redo with a penalty system rather than just saying no train is allowed to enter from the back, but we'll see how that goes. We've also got, so it's 15 miles an hour in and out of the platforms. I have the world's creakiest desk as well, apologies if that's getting picked up. Then we've got these 6 here which increase the train speed to 20 miles, in fact 20 miles an hour out of here. These increase it to 40, these ones here increase it to 60, and then when we hit this one here, it increases to 100, and then somewhere up here, I can't remember where, in fact I might have accidentally got rid of it. There is a signal that takes it up to full line speed, but I think I accidentally got rid of it just now. So we'll go and redo that. So what is the line speed here? It's like 100 and... oh, it's 200. There you go. Flat 200. So I think I might just do that at the... I was going to say the tunnel exit, but no. I think I'm going to do that at the tunnel entry. So you're going to slow down to... actually, no. I am going to do it at the tunnel exit. Scratch that. Hopefully there's enough time to slow the train down. The new system, which I really like for tunnels on signal... signals in tunnels and on bridges, if I can get my words out, is really good. So now, it used to be a case of you'd have to go in the options and set up the distance you want it to be, and it would be the same for every single bridge and tunnel you build. And actually, I I've just recorded a script for a signaling tutorial, an updated signaling tutorial, and that was one of the things that I'd mentioned on there. And then I found out that's not the case anymore. So I had to go and redo that entire section. But now you do it individually. So you actually do it from this panel now. So if you say 20 here, it will set them at 20. So you'll see there's actually no signals on this bridge here. And in the tunnel, it does actually set them to the right distance. If I can find a long bridge somewhere, which is hard round here because this is the... There we go. You see here there is actually a 20 tile space. I think it's 20 tiles. It's around 20 tiles between each. Oh no, it's 15 here. Okay. Maybe I didn't do it quite right. But 15 is still good. It's longer than the longest train that will run on this line. So that works too. And that just makes life so much easier as well when you're doing certain things. Anyway, this is now done. We've got the new approaches to Plenborough. Excuse me. The reason I've got the flyover here as well is because imagine there's a train coming along the exit only line and it just wants to hit this signal here and launch back up to line speed. Meanwhile, there's another train that's coming in here and it's going to end up crossing over to one of the, well, in this case, it'll have to be this bottom track here. It just allows it to do that without getting in the way. And in fact, a better example would be if there's a train coming in, it can go up and over this flyover onto one of these two lines, he says, realizing that he hasn't actually added the crossovers in properly. So I'm going to do that one there, and I'm going to do that one there, I think. Actually, no, other way around. I'm going to do that one there. I'm going to do that one there. Actually, no. Sorry, I've just realized what I'm actually supposed to do here. So it's actually, I need another tile there, really. But I think I can just get away with it like this with a couple of scissors. So if you're coming on this track, you go across like this, round like this, under like this, and then out. That works. And if you're coming in this way, you go like this, like this, like this, and then like this. Awesome. Try that again. So a train coming in like this will go up and over this flyover here and down. Meanwhile, a train coming in on this line can go straight on underneath and then onto the exit track without them conflicting with one another. In theory, it might have been better to actually build that here, but I didn't think about it until I was building this bit here. So I've just put it there instead, and hopefully it works. If not, this entire junction will move over slightly, and the new flyover will be built here. Or it might even just be a dive under, considering the topography here. Okay, Plenborough is done. I can now send this file off to Mastertrams, and then next time you see me, hopefully we'll be able to start running trains on this. So the three services that we're going to be running, hopefully, are going to be GSG to Plenborough, GSG to Gronwell, and Plenborough to Gronwell. They're the big three, like the non-stop express type trains. There are plenty of other high-speed services, but they will be coming sometime in the future. But for now, yeah, I'm happy. All right, here we are. We are back, and I'm still at Plenborough, although I probably shouldn't be, really. I should be somewhere else on the network. To put that in context then, the last clip you saw was recorded on the 27th of January 2024. This section of the video is being recorded on the 23rd of February 2024, so almost an entire month later. That's how long it takes to do these things, believe me. And that's not, we're not dragging our feet or anything like that. It's genuinely, we have lives to live outside of this. Mastertrams has a full-time job. I have a full-time job. I think Mastertrams has university as well. And, things just get put on the back burner sometimes, and that's what's happened here. But very pleased to say, Mastertrams has come through. He's an absolute legend. I'll tell you more about why that is in a bit. But yeah, we now have a set of timetables that we can start implementing, and we can actually get trains running right now. Literally right now, I can go and start putting trains in, which is incredibly exciting. Genuinely very, very excited about this and looking forward to getting this done, because I feel like it's a long time coming. So, first thing I'm going to do is hop on up the line here, back to, where are we at? That's Tuningly there, isn't it? And then up this way, Winston Kylestra, I was about to say, but that's Brenfingley. Winston Kylestra, there we go. Winston Kylestra Airport, to give it its proper name. And then we need to go one stop east along the line to Grundhead, Apollonia. man, it's been so long. People ask me about stations now, and I literally have to say to them, like, which station are you talking about? I genuinely can't remember. Also, I think I've pointed this out before, but it's very funny how every single high-speed station now basically has an airport attached to it. That was not by design, but it's a happy little accident that we've ended up there. Anyway, where am I at? I need to get some tabs open. So this is the first service that we're adding to the new M4J network. First rail service, I should point out. And it is going to be the Guard City St. George to Gronwell Superior Express. There we go. I found it. So first of all, I need to grab the train itself. So let's grab this. I'm going to pin you in the corner there. Hopefully, some people have pointed out actually that the UI size has been a little bit small in recent videos. So let's see if I can do something about that. That's the wrong one. Dingbat. There we go. Graphics. So I need to create the interface size like so. There we go. It has zoomed me in a little bit. Oh, one other thing before I start doing this. When I was recording footage for my tutorial series, I did notice that the game kept crashing for me, not on this version of the map, but on the tutorial world and also on the old version of the M4J network. Because I actually went back and loaded up a previous map to get the footage that I needed for different signal types and things like that. And I just recorded loads of stations for B-roll footage. And from that, I realized that if I zoomed in like this and then went like that, the game crashed. It didn't let me zoom. So I was basically navigating the network. I think it let me go out to this level actually, and maybe even this level, but anything beyond that, the game crashed. And I noticed with the old version, it was only when I took out... Actually, I might have just fixed it in my head. Maybe. I updated BR trains, is what I did. But then on the tutorial world, I don't have BR trains. I have BR... Oh no, sorry, I do have BR trains. I didn't have BR... Was it BR set? The predecessor? I can't even remember what it's called now. But yeah, one of those is causing issues. So there is a chance that the game might crash spectacularly during this, in which case I do apologise. But let's go for the 373. And I need the 373/1. Yes, which is the 3 capitals. Double click that. There's our train. I don't think livery matters too much, but I think for this one, I'm going to stick it in GNER livery still. Because I like GNER livery. GNER livery is cool. Now, we're going to select this twice. We're going to select this one here once. Obviously here, it's going to be no unloading, no loading. And here, it's going to be no loading, no unloading. This is obviously going to be service. And now, I need station names. I need waypoint names, just so I can keep track as to what I'm doing. Right, now it's going to start getting tricky. So this is where I need to start following a tutorial that Master Trams has written for me. So this is going to get really technical. There's going to be lots of things here that I don't understand, never mind anyone else watching this video. But I promise you at the end, this is all worth it. So if you want to learn about rail intricacies and how networks are formed and run and things like that, carry on watching, because this is definitely the video for you. So I'm going to start using some head codes here. Right now we are creating head code. Let me find it off the top of my head. 5H01. I wish you could see my other screen actually. I should have set that up, but never mind. Which according to this is the X35. So every 35 minutes past the hour during running times, this will leave the depot, or technically it will arrive at the junction over here. And I think it is East Approach we're looking for, which is this one here. There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is select East Approach, which I believe to be that one. There we are. Now it needs to stop at Grundhead itself, which we're going to do like this. And again, no unloading, no loading. Or no loading, no unloading. I always say that the wrong way around. It always annoys me that I do say that the wrong way around. Right, now from here, so I've got to get this right as well. I feel like already I've got this slightly wrong. So according to this, yeah, this is 5H01, but I think this might be the wrong way round on this document. So effectively, no, it kind of makes sense and it also kind of doesn't. But I think, yeah, actually, I think this does make sense and I've just read it wrong. That's definitely what we've done here. So this is the 5H01, which is the Rothenburg HighSpeed Depot to Gronwell Superior service. It is an empty coach stock movement, so an ECS, which is why it's got the 5 in the head code, and it is going express from here to Gronwell. So Brendingston High Speed Gronwell, which is this one, and then the next waypoint it calls out from here is Winning Pool Sedalia, it says, but I think that's the through. I also believe there's certain waypoints that I'm not supposed to use during this, and I think these might be some of them, the Naywood ones, because I don't think these are actually needed for anything. But I'm saying that, I think they might actually be needed for something, and I'm just getting that wrong as well. Very high speed, that's what I want. I'm just going to pin this up here as well, just in case I do need to place some signals and change some signals and stuff while I'm doing all this. So if I select this, no, actually I don't think I do need to do this. So I guess instead of Winning Pool Sedalia, I'll just use the waypoint here as a guide for the departure time. Master Trams, I apologize if this is wrong, but I'm going to do it and hope that it's right. And then next on the list is Sludhead High Speed, which I believe is actually on the approach to... Yep, there it is. On the approach to Gronwell. So we're going to do this. And then we're going to bring it to Gronwell. So we don't need to worry about anything there because there's no waypoints. Now here, I'm just going to go no loading. I used to do unload and it would automatically do no loading, but I found that was actually causing some issues with passengers not transferring properly. They weren't getting picked up, they weren't getting taken to where they needed to go. It was messing up something to do with cargo distribution. So I've turned that off for now, and I'm just going to use no loading. So the train will run back empty. Now, this section here, from the no loading downwards, that is no longer 5H02. That is now, let me have a look here. So that's the first departure of the day, and then it becomes 1H00, which is this one, and then 1H00. So now 5H41 is the return. How I'm going to name all these in the grouping in a minute, I have no idea. But yeah. So now I need to go down to 5H0. I know 5H01 ends there, sorry. And it becomes 1H41. So this is actually 5H02, which is the first departure. And that's where I think, is that correct? But I think that is correct because of something else where it says where the numbers dictate the destination. It goes a bit over my head at this point. But yeah, 5H02 becomes 1H40. So now we're setting up 1H40, which is going to leave Gronwell, and its first destination is the waypoint that we just did, Sludhead High Speed. So we're going to do that. Then the next stop after that, if I just highlight the column here so I don't have to keep trying to find it each time. The next one is Winning Pool Sedalia, and there is an arrival time. No, there is no arrival time, there's a departure time. So again, I'm probably getting this wrong, but I'm just going to use the waypoint here, which I could probably rename actually, so I'm going to do that quickly. So you are going to be Sedalia through with a capital T and also an H and an S in front. There we are. Sedalia High Speed through. Now that doesn't change anything with the timings or anything. It's just for my benefit. So after that, the next on the list is Brendingstone High Speed. So it's literally back to where we just were. Now I think we stop at Grundhead, so this is important that we get this bit right. So Brendingstone High Speed, there it is, and then I do believe we do stop here, and we do. There we go. Now from Grundhead, we don't stop at Eastway High Speed, so this is not included on the timings, so we'll skip it. The next destination for us is Frindinghead High Speed, which I believe is where the junction... Yep. It says Frindingstone High Speed North, but it can just be Frindingstone High Speed. This is where the Plenborough branches off. We don't stop at Kylestra. Do we have a timing for Kylestra? Yes, we do. So I'm going to use the waypoint there, Kylestra through. We don't use Brundwood High Speed. Nope, we do not. So the next stop then is Gart Hill High Speed Release, which is right the way down in Guard City itself. My god, the waypoints and everything. There's Gart Hill High Speed Release. And then over here is GSG. Boom. Now, this is normally the part where I would go in, hit timetable, and hit autofill. I am not, and I repeat, not going to do that here because, and this is where the legend Master Trams comes in again, he's done it all for me. He filled all this in for me. He created, what I didn't know was he created a full timetable, and for some reason I thought it was just a guideline for a timetable, but it's actually a full timetable. So that's the times I was just reading and things like that. That is all from this. So I know that this journey here takes 5 minutes. So from the depot to this, according to this tutorial that I've got, takes 5 minutes. Although I do dispute that slightly. Hang on, I just need to find the section. There's a bit where it talks about mental maths. In this case, sorry, there are 9 minutes between our train leaving the depot and passing Rafingberg High Speed Depot East Approach, which is the first order in the spreadsheet, but it's the second order on here. Which is scheduled to do at XX05. Therefore, we should add a departure slot that tells it to leave at XX56. So we'll sort that out in a second. So I think at this point I can click this and say 9, which actually calculate a time because there's something else that I haven't changed in my settings. 1980 times 9, 17,820. There we go. So Master Trams has his setup in minutes, seconds, and ticks. I could do that, but I've gotten quite used to working things in ticks. So for now, I'm going to leave things in ticks, but I'm probably going to get shouted at for that. So I at some point might end up changing it. But for now, I'm just going to leave it in ticks. Now, if I go back to 5H02 here, we arrive at Rafingberg High Speed Depot East Approach at 2:05. We then arrive at Grundhead Apollonia Airport at 2:07:30. And sorry, the 2 that I'm saying, that's X. So it can be any number, any time of day. But the minutes are the important bit. So in this case, it's X07:30. So it takes 2.5 minutes to travel this section of track. So that is 2.5 times 1980, which is 4,950. There we go. So now my job here is to go through and add all of these times, but I'm not going to make you guys watch that. So let's turn up the music and we'll turn this into a little time lapse. Alright, that's that done. All the stop times, all the travel times are in. One other thing I need to do quickly is put the speed limit in. So it's 200 here. And then at the bottom here where it goes in and out of the depot, it is 10. And hopefully with the signalling all being correct, which it should be. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but it should be. This should all be set up. One more thing we need to do is the wait times at certain stations here. So I've got it on my tutorial here as 5 minutes wait time at the depot, I believe. Where was that? I did see it just now, but I can't find it. I can't remember exactly where it is. It was there somewhere. I'll explain how this all works again in just a second, because I'm starting to understand it myself now as I've been going through all of this. But yeah, this is it's tricksy trying to work it all out, but it's cool. I'm enjoying it. It's working quite well. So yeah, 5 minutes here. Grundhead is going to be 1 minute, which it already is. That's fine. Gronwell is going to be 22 minutes according to this. So the first departure of the day arrives at 2:16:30, or sorry, X:16:30. It then departs at X:38:30. So that is indeed a 22-minute stop, which according to this is 43,560. Now I believe the same is true at the other end of the line, where it arrives at GSG at X:57 and departs, if I can find the right one. There it is. So it arrives at X:57 and departs at X:30. So that's longer. That's, what's that, 33 minutes? I believe. That sounds like 33 minutes to me. So I wonder why that's been done like that. I guess for reasons that will become clear momentarily. So that is 65,340. Now the bit I'm a little confused about, and I should have asked this before I started recording, is what happens at Gronwell again. So I have the thing here. Arrives back at Gronwell at 2:48, becomes 5H42. Leaves at 2:10. So that's another 22 minutes, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so I do know the answer to that question. I'm an idiot. You'll hear that a lot as these episodes go on. So 43560. There we go. And then it gets back to Grundhead. It stops for a minute, heads into the depot here, where again it's going to wait for 5 minutes, and then here for 5 minutes. Right, this is basically where the tutorial ends that I've been given. However, I'm going to utilize something else that I've been given, also by Master Trams, but originally created by, I believe it's Kale, Kale, on the openttd Discord. Tutorials. Well, Kale is basically a genius as well. If this is the right tutorial, I believe it is. Basically, you have a service, right? So you run from your depot to your first station. So in this case, it's not this station, it is this station. What happens when you get here? Well, scheduled dispatch allows you to add a second service. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop you there like that. I'm going to hit enable. I think I've got everything set up over here as it needs to be. We don't need to autofill. Everything is timetabled because we put the running times in ourselves. We got the speed limits in. Everything's good. So the first thing I want to do is hit this one and assign it schedule number 1. There we are. Now for this, I need to refer back to the tutorial, and it tells me that I need to put the stop times at X:56. So let's go with, for this, let's say trains start running at 5:56. They run every hour. So that is 0 here, 1 here. And the last train leaves at 10:56. Bam. 3 trains. That's how many we need. Now at this point, I could end. I can say that's it. We've got this one set up and ready to go. But I think I want to make life harder for myself and use this tutorial from Kale. So what Kale has done, and if you're a member of the openttd Discord server, you can head to the tutorials tab, and I believe it's, which one is it called? Let me find it again. Master Trams did link it to me, but I forgot. I think it's the, is it the model rail? No, it doesn't look like the model railroad one. Maybe it is. 1 second. Oh no, it is that one. It's the model railroading. Railroadizing. There we go. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to make my own tutorial on it, but I'm going to give full credit to the original creator, Kale, because, again, I wouldn't know any of this if it wasn't for them. So, this is all set up. This is all going. But I'm now going to go over here to Gronwell Superior. I'm going to head back to my first departure of the day. So we arrive at X1630. That then becomes the 1H40 here, which is the X3830 departure. So I'm going to create a new schedule. I'm going to apply it here. And this is like my safety net. This is in case things do start to fall out of sync with the timetabling and everything. It adds a little bit of contingency in as well. Yeah, you'll see how this makes sense in a second. So I'm going to control click on this. Actually, no, I'm not. Before I do that, I'm going to head back to this one. So this is X556. So this one, next one is going to be 638, if I recall. So the first departure from here, oh, and the last one is 1138. So 638 there. This one here is 1138 or 2338. We're going to set this to hourly. In fact, no, it's not hourly, is it? It's half hourly. So I'd done that wrong already as well. There we go. Now suddenly it needs 6 vehicles, not 3. Let's do this again. So 556 to 1056. I thought something was wrong there. 56 to 1056. There we go. And that is, my calculator's disappeared. That's also 6 vehicles. And then I'm going to come down here again to GSG. So we arrive at GSG at where are we? X57, and we depart GSG at X30. So this is now 7:30, I believe. So if I hit add, you're going to be schedule number 3, and you are going to be 7:30 to. Well, that's a good question. Let me fix that a second. So hang on. You leave at 6:38, and you arrive in at. Do you have a predecessor? Yeah, 1H40. So you arrive in at 57, X57. So that's going to be 6:57. So yeah, you leave at 7:30, which means the last one is going to be 12:30 a.m. So yeah, that's, you can see why we set these quite early. 7, that's 6 mark. 7:30, and your last departure is not then. Come on. Then. Bam. Also 6 vehicles. Yeah. Now I should add delays to this. Just in case. Just in case. I'm going to add a delay. So they run half an hour apart. So I'm going to add a delay of 10 minutes. If there's one, that's ticks. Just, it's okay. I'm okay. I might switch back to minutes after all, because apparently that's what I'm working in at the moment. So 19,800. 19,800. Cool. So this is now in theory set up and ready to go. Now I do want to first of all save the game, because I don't want to lose all the hard work I've just done setting up this timetable. And then the other thing I want to do is add this to a group. So if I pin this here as well, we're going to collapse everything. I've still got all my old groups here. Look at them all. Lovely, lovely. So this is technically this one, but we're going to change the head codes. So you are 5. God, I've lost it already. 5HO. Technically 01. How am I going to do this? Like this? 1H. So 5H01 becomes 1H41. And then 1H41 becomes 1H00. And then that becomes 5H41. So actually there are patterns there if you look. And then yeah, GSG to GRS, which is Guard City St. George to Gronwell Superior. But technically it's the other way around. So I might change that quickly too. So you are GRS to GSG. Right. Now we're going to clone you to get up to 6. That's 7. There we go. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's no 4. That's why. I thought I'd counted correctly. So now there's 6 in this schedule. In theory, we can now set this to go. And it feels really weird not hitting autofill or automate or anything like that. But this is set up. It's as good as that. It's ready to go. So I'm going to save the game again quickly, because again, I still don't quite trust myself. That was the easy one, believe it or not. There's now some tricky ones that we're going to have to do, because on my spreadsheet that I've got here in front of me, this is all contained on a single line. But like I said just now in the video, I want to do 3 different services today, hopefully. The next one, I might stop after this second one actually, depending on how difficult it is. But the next one I wanted to do was Guard City to Plenborough. But what I might end up doing is Guard City to Bar City. And the reason I'm going to prioritize that one, it looks like the zoom is working for me right now, is purely because the Transrapid right now is running at capacity. We have no more room on trains. And I think having high-speed trains coming from Bar City Central will ease that pressure, because they'll run from here basically express to Fort Bredborough, where they connect with the Transrapid anyway, and from there passengers can switch between the two. It also means that these boats that we built a few episodes ago, the pressure will get eased on them as well, and it means that the passengers can connect between the two main cities here properly for the first time in what feels like 2 years, and probably is 2 years at this point. So, how on earth was this one done? Let's have a look. So we've got BAC to FBC. Do I have the predecessor? Do I have the successor? No, they are not on there. Although this one has one. Successor. So this is running from the depot, I assume? No, 1H10 becomes 1H50. 1H50 does not have a successor on here. That's slightly problematic, but then... Aha, that's why. Right, so there's another one here that runs... let me just find the details. This is what I was afraid of, that I'd stall mid-video, like mid-recording here. So we've got Guard City St. George to Bar City Central, which is actually the first one on the list here. Runs every 60 minutes, not every 30. That's mainly because of this section, in fact, where it runs with other express services, so it's to make sure that nothing gets in the way of anything else. That's literally the only reason why it's done like that. And let's see, so it starts off leaving the depot as one of these empty stock movements, and it branches off at Wenningpool Acidalia, I believe. Let's just follow that back up. So Wenningpool is... oh no, sorry. It branches off at Grundhead. So I need to find the one that basically disappears after Grundhead, which is... I want to say this one, but that's the stock movement, I believe. Nope, not that one. Tell you what, I'm going to go away and have a little think about this, read it through properly, and then I'm going to come back probably once I've actually done it, to be honest, because I think doing it on camera is going to be a little bit repetitive compared to what I've already done. So bear with me, I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so a couple of hours of putting in numbers. I've set up all 3 services, and I had a good night's sleep as well because it was getting close to curfew. And here we are. We have 14 trains sat in 2 depots ready to go. So to put that in context, we've got 6 on the first one up here, which is the Gronwell to Guard City service. Then we've got 3 down here, which is the Guard City to Bar City service. And then this one over here, which is at a completely different depot. This is the Plenborough to Guard City service. All 3 are set up ready to go. All 3 have got the speed limits and everything there set up. I think we can actually set these to go. So if I hop back over here, what I'm going to do is select this one here. And ready? Drum roll. Actually, let's do the Bar City one first, because I think that one will be even better. Just going to hit green. And there we go. Oh, I heard the little horn there. I don't know if you guys... actually, you wouldn't have heard that because I'm not capturing game audio right now. But I heard the little horn there. And the first train has now departed. Now, I'm doing this in advance. It's currently 4:27 AM on my screen. I don't know if you can see that in the bottom corner there. This train isn't due to leave the depot until 5:44. At least the first departure of the day. The first one up here was 5:56. I've now added an extra slot, so it's 5:26. And then there's also one over here, which is the 5:01. So now these are all leaving. In theory, what I can do is just click on this one and hit green as well. And all of them should work. My job after this, and in fact, I'm already regretting this decision. Let me just, 1 second. Oh no, it's too late now. I was going to run them all individually and watch them all to make sure they all ran properly, but it's fine. It's fine. We don't need to worry about that. Also, I realised I didn't route them via the waypoints here, but I don't think I need to. I don't think there's any routing that actually requires it from what I've seen. So I think we're okay. Because this one is just a simple in-out speed limit control. And then this one down here, the blue one, is just only let trains through from the front control. So I think we're okay. I think we're all good. Also, I love watching the pathfinding now with the realistic braking. That's cool. One of these might turn yellow again in a second once this is cleared. Probably this one, I imagine. Which is what? Second from bottom. I'm kind of just going to sit here and speed up time a little bit in a second, just so we can see... oh yeah, look, got it right. Just so we can see the first train actually leave, which will be... technically, it will be this one over here at Flarnhall. But over this side, it will be the 5:26. So I'm hoping... when this arrives at the depot here, it will come up saying X number of minutes early. And then from there, it will sort itself out, basically, and start running at the correct time. Oh, one other thing I haven't done, which I've just noticed. Thank you for... there we go, far end. And far end. There's Gronwell. And then somewhere, there it is, GSG. All the others can be middle. And this one, I could actually leave the game running while I'm doing this, because we're waiting for time to pass anyway. GSG, Bar City can be center, and then GSG again, which is where? There. I think I've set all these up right. No unloading, no unloading, no loading. That's why I say it the way I do. Look, there. No unloading, no loading. Yet when you set it up here, it's load and then unload. It's designed to mess with your brain, man. Also, that needs to be far in. As does this one. There we are. Which means I've also done this one wrong. Because I forgot to do this one. So I think this is all set up and working now. Looks to be. This one I believe is all set up now. So now I just need to do this one, which shouldn't take long. It's one of these things, once you actually get into the rhythm of it, it's not that bad. It's pretty painless. But entering all the numbers manually is a bit of a pain. So I don't recommend this if you're a new player to openttd. And there are still new people joining the game, despite the fact openttd is 20 years old this year, which is crazy. There are still new people. Right, yes, look, 5:44. So you have taken the first departure slot, which is excellent. So that's good. That's why scheduled dispatch is incredible. And over here, 5:01. So you're 61,568 ticks early. I'm assuming that's today's 5:01 as well, because sometimes it does do weird things with that. And then this one should take the 5:26 slot, and then we can run through all all of them, in one go. But I'm going to do that off camera, of course. One more thing. Because I know Master Trams is going to be asking this, and there may be people in the comments as well asking this. Why have I set up 3 scheduled dispatches? Reason being is you're relying too much on mathematics when you're just using timetables. So we know from the timetable that Master Trams set up that, let's say for example, the 5H01, which is this service in the top left here, this arrives at Gromwell at 2:46:30. It then becomes the 1H41, which leaves Gromwell at, I keep saying 2. It arrives at X46:30. It leaves at X08:30. But there's a rounding error there because we only work to the nearest 30 seconds. That's how timetables work. They're always done to the nearest 30 seconds. So what if it arrived at 15 seconds instead of 30? And what if it left at 45 seconds instead of 30? Suddenly you've got this 30-second gap where things aren't quite what they should be. And if you want running ticks like I'm doing, you can have literally 10 seconds worth of ticks as a schedule. So that's what I've done somewhere on this one. I think it is. There's a 3:30 there between Frindinghead HighSpeed North and Kylestra through. I just set this as 10 seconds because on the timetable it actually shows no time difference whatsoever. So you get rounding errors. And if you work with ticks as well as minutes, and I know the reply to this is going to be just use minutes then, Mark, but let's just say for the sake of argument here, I've thought about this for a second. You end up with a problem where it might be 22 minutes on the first journey, but on the second journey it might be 25 minutes because it starts to have a rounding error. And because of that, you end up with trains that think they're running on time, but they're actually running late, and that can end up holding up the entire network. So the easy solution for me was to set a scheduled dispatch schedule here for the departure time that we're expected to leave at. Now, I've been told by Master Trams that you can have up to a minute's leeway either side of the actual departure time. So here, it's meant to leave on the minute, in the game, it's meant to leave on the minute, but here on the schedule, it's meant to leave at 08:30, whereas here it leaves at 08. So there's a little bit of leeway there still. It's a 30-second leeway, but at least it's a guaranteed leeway. It will always leave on the minute, rather than just, I don't actually know, I don't think you can set 30-second intervals on scheduled dispatch. But that's why I've done that. I've also explained why I've done the 10 seconds ticks here. So 990 is 30 seconds, 330 is 10 seconds. So there's a few where that takes place. And then for the depot bit, I kind of just went with 10 minutes either side and hope that, scheduled dispatch will iron out those errors as well. We'll see. There could be a possibility that trains arrive late to their first destination because I've put it in as 5 minutes and it might actually be 9 minutes from here to the first waypoint. There is a very good possibility that that is indeed the case. Why is this train? Oh, because that's already been reserved by this one. Okay. So we've got trains holding up trains now, which I guess is also fine. I don't know if you're going to... I don't think you're going to take a schedule until you actually reach the depot. Also, I've done my calculations here. So over here, there was more than enough storage tracks. There's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's only 5 trains using it. Over here, it's a little bit tighter because there's 9 trains using this. But there's only 10 storage tracks. So it's a little bit closer, but it's not too far off still. So I'm quickly going to show you something else, which hopefully I can do on the screen while we're waiting for the first departure. Also, the game didn't crash. That's good. If I head back over to Guard City here, I'm just going to hide station and waypoint names again for a second because we don't need them. I just want to show you what else you can do with this new method that we're using here. So right now, we've got these trains still starting at a depot, running a schedule, and then heading back to the depot, which sort of happens still in the real world, but not quite to the extent that we do it here. Where you can take this is to this. So right now, this depot, this bus depot, ignore the trucks, they're running on the same system as well, but it's set up slightly differently. But look at this coach depot down here. So these are the Guard City coaches. They go out to various destinations in and around the city, and all of them originate at Guard Lake. So if I hit this and hit departures, you will see somewhere, I hope. Can't actually see them. That's interesting. I guess because there's quite a lot of departures between here and 527. Now you can see just how many different departures there are. And in fact, we have trucks every 5 minutes here. So that's quite intense. But if I was to increase this further, you would see the start of the Guard City coaches. I've picked a really bad time of day to actually demonstrate this, but I could also demonstrate it over here at the tram depot. You see how the tram depot here is full? If I was to select, that's not what I wanted, departures at Guard City St. Michael, here we go. So you'll see now there are departures here starting to appear for the day. So you've got Route 602, which is a bus, Route 61, which is a tram, Route 51. You've also got the mail trucks, and you can see where the mail trucks start to fade out a little bit more, and then the passenger vehicles start coming in. Basically, again, thanks to Kale, pointed in my direction by Master Trams, we have this system where at night, all of the vehicles get stored in the depot. But during the day, these vehicles come out of the depot and actually run the service. And once they get back to the origin station, so in this case GSMI, they will then check to see if there is another slot in the schedule that they can occupy. And if there is, they will not go back to the depot. They will actually run the service again from GSMI. And they will keep doing that throughout the day until eventually they'll come back at, say, 10 minutes past 11 or whatever it might be. And the next slot isn't until 4 o'clock the next morning. And at that point, and that point alone, they will head back to the depot. They'll get maintenance, and then they'll sit in a storage track. The one place I haven't implemented this yet is Bar City with the trams, but I will be doing it soon. The reason I haven't done it with Bar City yet is because I finally got it all working so that there was no conflicts. And then I went and started this new system and messed things up slightly. But if I head down to Sanley, where we built the tram network here oh so long ago, you'll see, again, if I click this, also Sanley's been given a makeover and it looks freaking awesome. You'll see here how it's set up. So this one, it's not quite uniform. You see it doesn't quite repeat the pattern properly because the slower trams, I think, run every 10 minutes and the faster ones are every 15 minutes. But you can see you got Express, Metro, 01, then you got Metro 01, Metro 02, Express, Metro 02, and this will repeat throughout the day. So there will come a point where the pattern does repeat, and it will run that schedule all day until the very end, where the last vehicle will come in, and then all of them, as they finish their last duty for the day, will head back to the depot. And as you can see, the depot is full again. Eventually, we're going to have that system set up for the trains as well. What that means is every single train that runs on the network will need to have its own storage track somewhere on the network. That will cause problems. Depots will have to get rebuilt because already we're only running 2 services out of this depot here, and already we've basically filled it. So this will need expanding. I've already been looking at ways to do that, and I actually think, and again, Master Trams, I'm sorry, We may have to do schedules and stuff again, but I'm actually thinking of moving this depot down here and filling up this gap here, because I think this is pretty flat land. Yeah, it's pretty flat land. But the way I would do it is I'd build the new one first, connect it to the tracks over here, and then we'd start moving services over one by one. And only after the last service has been moved from here will we take all this out. That would be the plan there. And we'd do something similar down here as well, where technically this one can just be expanded. It'll probably get moved slightly further north. Or failing that, it would get built over here with a new track that just snakes its way through, or even just tunnels under this, to be honest. It connects up correctly over here. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. I don't know where I've got hiccups from. I only woke up like an hour ago. So that's that. That's all working. As I said, I'm going to keep watching these trains to make sure they are actually behaving themselves properly. I'm just going to, one more time for posterity, I'm just going to hit fast forward here. So this first train leaves at 26. If we check there, it's set to leave at 26. Hopefully it means this 26. One way to check that actually would be to head over to GSG and see if that train has appeared on the schedule. Or, better yet, we were literally sat next to a station where the train was stopping. So if I hit this and hit this, boom, they're on there. So we've got the planes on here too, but you can see we've got the Guard City St. George service, which is due to arrive at 6:16 and leave at 6:17, which if I do my maths, what is it, 1H41? This is where I find out it's all wrong. 1H41 is due to arrive at Grundhead Apollonia Airport at X16:30, so X16, and it's due to leave at X17:30, so 6:17, and that works. It's all lined up. I'm actually very, very happy that I've managed to somehow wrap my brain around all of this, and obviously huge thanks to Master Trams for doing all the timetabling work for me, because if I'd been doing it, we'd still be sat here in 2026 with me trying to work it all out. So getting someone who works in the industry, knows what they're doing, massive time saver, massive help. So thank you, Master Trams. I'm sure you're watching, for your help with all of this. Also thanks to Kale for setting up the tutorials on Discord that we've been using. I do suggest you go check those out as well. I mentioned where they are earlier, so hopefully you'll be able to find them. And I am kind of just filling time right now while I'm waiting for the first train here to leave. I should have sped up time a little bit more, but I was worried I'd miss the first departure slot if I did that. Also the fact that the first departure slot is actually this one over here. But yeah, I might as well talk about what the plans are for this series moving forward now. So this was the big one. Getting the first one done, this was the big task. Now that we've got this done, the next task is to get the remaining high-speed services up and running. So I've still got the tab open here. This is just 3 of 13 high-speed services that will eventually run on the high-speed network. Saying it out loud like that, and you realise you're not even a quarter of the way through, it does start to get a little bit daunting. But yes, there are going to be more. And there goes the first train. So let's follow that whilst I chat gibberish. So there are going to be more. Right now we've got S1, S2 and S3, which are respectively the Guard City St. George to Bar City Central service, the Guard City St. George to Grunwell Superior service, and the Guard City St. George to Plenborough Torina service. One of them runs hourly, the other 2 run half hourly. Next up, we've got Plenborough to Grunwell, which is one that I should have done today as well, but I wanted to get the GSG ones up and running because I feel like that's still the hub. So Plenborough to Grunwell will be the first one we do next time. And then we're going to go through them in order. So the one after that will be Plenborough to Bar City, running via Winston, Grundhead, Apollonia Airport, Fort Bredborough Celestial Airport. Then we've got Plenborough to Guard City, stopping at more stations. So it will stop at Grundhead, Fort Bredborough. Oh yeah, so this is the trick one. This one actually runs through Bar City. So it goes Grundhead, Fort Bredborough Celestial Airport, Winnington Tranquility, Bar City Central, and then Rinningley Market. And it'll actually run on the 3rd rail using the Eurostar that's compatible with that, which is the 373/3, which I think is in the game. It doesn't appear when I look for it, but I'm pretty certain I looked for it before and it was in fact there. It's part of BR set, so it should be there. Then we've got, so what was that? That was S6, I believe. So then we've got S7, which is Brenfingley to Bar City. So now we're getting trains that don't start at a terminus. they actually start at some of the wayside stations. This one goes from Brenfingley to Bar City, calling at Winston, Grundhead, Fort Bredborough, which is really hard to say, as it turns out, Slonford, Supernova, and Winnington Tranquility. Then we've got Gronwell to Plenborough, which stops at Wenningpool, Grundhead, Winston, Brenfingley, Lenway Rialta Airport, and Tuningly Estelle. Then we've got GSG to Brenfingley, which just stops at Winston. Then we've got Plenborough to Brenfingley, which just stops at Tuningly Estelle and Lenway Rialta Airport. Then we've got Grundhead to Bar City, which stops at Fort Bredborough, Slonford, and Winnington. Then we've got Fort Bredborough to Plenborough, which stops at Slonford, Winnington, Bar City Central, and Rinningley Market. And you can see now why these lines are going to get busy. Every time I drive past HighSpeed 1, I always look for a train. And I think this year's actually been one of my personal bests in terms of seeing trains on HighSpeed 1. But it's literally I never see a train. And I drive along the M20 quite a lot. I drive along the M2. So I'm basically running parallel to the line the entire time. Never see a train. Very frustrating. And also, you know, going across the Dartford Crossing, I never see one going through the eye of the needle there. Very frustrating. So this, I vowed to make the high-speed line here very busy. So I just created all of these. And the really cool thing is, I think all of them have been timetabled now by Master Trams. So again, the dedication that he's shown to help me with this silly little project for a YouTube channel, you know, I can't speak highly enough of his talents and his skills. Was that the Fort Bredborough to Plenborough one I mentioned there? I think it was. The last one is Lenway to Gronwell, which stops at Brenfingley, Winston, Grundhead, Wenningpool, and that's it. Yeah, just stops at those ones. So all of the sort of regional services, the ones that start at wayside stations, and I say wayside stations, you know what I mean by that. You know, not terminus stations, basically. They're all hourly, with the exception of none of them, as it turns out. No, I'm reading the wrong one. So Gronwell to Plenborough via Winston, that's half hourly. 2 of the 3 that we've set up today are half hourly, and then the Plenborough to Gronwell is also half hourly, but that uses a different type of Eurostar, which is probably why I didn't decide to do it today. All in all, we use all 3 types of Eurostar: the 373/1, the 373/2, and the 373/3. Try saying that 5 times quickly. I'm really happy. I'm so happy to get trains up and running. Just watching this run its journey as well, seeing that it is actually following the signals properly, that it is slowing down and speeding up when it's supposed to, that it's running through the right tracks. All of it is incredibly exciting. I am thrilled, actually, genuinely thrilled that this is all up and running and operational now. And again, huge thanks to Master Trams for helping make it happen. Very, very grateful indeed. If you want to get involved in this project, you can head over to my Discord channel or server. Link is in the description. You can join the M4J Network channel. You can join in with the chat there. We are still trying to set up a database to actually manage all of this, because one thing I haven't done yet is name all my individual rolling stock as well. So each train will get its own TOPS number. If you don't know what that is, I would do a really bad job of explaining it. But basically every train has their own individual ID number. So in this case, these are all 3731s, aren't they? So the first 3 digits would be 373 because that's the class number, and then the 4th digit would be a 1 because it's part of the /1 class, and then, you know, 01, 02, 03 all the way up to 99, I guess, and then it would tick over to whatever's next. I don't think we're going to get 100 trains on this network, all with 3731s, so we shouldn't need to. In fact, these are the only services that use 3731s, so yeah. Anyway, I'm waffling on. This episode needs to end. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, if you do want to head over to the Discord and join in with the conversation there, if you're a timetabler and want to help with that side of things, I'm sure Master Trams would appreciate the support. If you're a computer scientist who wants to help create a database to manage all of these lines, routes, stations, and trains, we have a project set up for that as well. So we've gone hardcore with this. This isn't just a game anymore. This is life. You know, the amount of ideas and time and things that have gone into this, it's crazy. I think we all need testing, to be honest, but never mind. But yeah, thank you again for watching. The fact we've got trains running now is incredible. I'm very, very excited. I think that's just the best word for saying it. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, and of course if you're enjoying the series so far, then hit the like button as well. It really does help me out. The interaction is always appreciated. And speaking of interaction, if you have any ideas for future episodes, or if you just want to leave some feedback on the current episodes, be sure to do that in the comment section. Like I said, interaction is good on YouTube, so any interaction at all, feel free to leave it down below. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so. We got loads of exciting content like this coming up in the near future, where we're going to be running more trains. We're also going to have the Transrapid up and running soon as well after HighSpeed. That was the other thing I was meant to say and forgot. So if you want to see more trains going even faster, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification so that you never miss an upload. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your evenings. Thank you once again for watching, and until next time, from a train. We actually have a train running. Until next time, I will see you soon.